Hi everyone, this is Yvonne from Yvonne Ceramics. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make your own underglaze transfer at home like this project here. In this project, I drew my own pattern, which is the flower and hearts using underglaze, and then transferring onto this vase using slips. You can easily make that with newspaper, underglaze, and slips at home. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos each week. Let's take a look at our materials that we need for our underglaze transfer. We have newspaper, so these are just normal flyers I got in the mail, so junk newspaper. I have a little heart-shaped vase. I hand built this one and I just put a bottom on it, a nice little vase for Valentine's Day. So the transfer will go on the outside of this vase. I cut a strip of newspaper that's about the size of this vase. It's a little bit longer, but that's okay. And then if I wrap it around, it's perfect, so I can just cut off the excess here, right about here. So when I wrap it around, it will go over the whole vase. Okay, and then after we have the newspaper and the vase, so this one right now, the vase is a little bit drier than leather heart, so you want to work at about a leather heart stage. So once we have the size of the transfer, we need to get a pencil and draw our design here. You want to make the design a little bit simpler. Don't do anything too complicated. So because this is a Valentine's Day vase, I'm going to do a flower and heart design. So I've got a pencil. I'm just going to use my pencil to quickly draw an outline of like my design of what I'm thinking of. Might be hard for you to see. So this is just my design. So after I finish my design, I'm going to put underglaze on my design. So I'm just doing simple flower here. Like that. Maybe a flower here. So I've got some flowers here, and then maybe draw some hearts here. And that's pretty good. Okay, so that's my basic design. So now I'm going to get some underglaze and I'm going to paint the underglaze on this design. So I've got the red, yellow, purple, and pink underglaze here. These are underglaze by Spectrum. So I'm going to paint the inside of the flower yellow. Because these underglaze are not very pigmented, so I'm going to try to do a few layers after the first layer is dried. I'm staying within kind of my guideline of where my pencils are. Finish the yellow, and then for the flower petals, I'm going to alternate with purple and pink. So for example, I'm going to do purple here. So this is just a guideline from my pencil. So you can see that the transfer has flowers and hearts, and I painted 2 layers of underglazes onto the newspaper, and it has already dried because I can see that there's no glossiness on the surface of the underglaze. So now I am going to paint on a layer of colored slip on top of this pattern. I have made a lot of videos on how to make slips and colored slips, so you can go back to my channel and look at that. This is a robin's egg colored slip, so I'm just going to paint on a layer onto this pattern. It doesn't matter which direction I paint on, as long as it fully covers the whole newspaper. So I finished painting the robin's egg colored slip onto my newspaper transfer. And so now I need to carefully lift up this transfer and put it on my heart-shaped vase. I'm going to pick it up from a corner so that I'm not transferring any color slip onto my fingers. I think I will start with one edge on where the divot of the vase is, and then I will slowly roll this piece of newspaper transfer around the shape of this vase. As I've said before, the transfer is a little bit longer than the vase, so I still have a little bit of leeway if my newspaper is a little bit tilted when I put it onto the vase. But I have to be careful so that it covers the whole area of the vase. That's why it is really important that when I'm choosing my vessel, I am using a vessel that has a simpler shape and straight wall, so it'll be easier to transfer. So the transfer has gone all the way around the vessel, and now I am using my red rib, which is my softest rib, to go over the whole transfer to make sure that the ink is transferred onto my vase. I can lift off one piece of the newspaper to check to see if the ink is transferred or not. If not, I can go over again with my rib. So I've used my rib to go over the whole transfer, and now I'm going to take the transfer off. Okay, so when you peel it off, you'll see areas where it's not transferred, and so you can go put it back and then just go over it again with your tool to make sure that the slip is transferred onto the vase. So it does go on. I'm actually gonna start on this side first. So this technique is it doesn't transfer as cleanly as the commercial transfer because the material, it doesn't go on as smooth as the rice paper transfer, but it is still a really good way to make your own transfer at home. You can see in a minute. So it's having a little bit trouble here transferring the slip. So there's a little bit trouble here. I get a little bit of water and see if I can wet this part, get the slip to go on. So I find that it'll be easier if I have a little wet sponge here and smooth out the transfer with a little bit of wetness, and then using my rib to smooth that out to help with that slip transfer. Yeah, so with the wetness, it helps transfer a lot better, but there's still spots like that. So you can go back and wet your finger and really smooth out that spot. There, so if I transfer onto the pot. Okay, now let's go back. And so you have to keep smoothing it out to make sure it transfer onto your vessel. So I just want to show you my transfer quickly. So I peeled off the whole transfer. I think the transfer is pretty good, but then of course, if you're a perfectionist, then this method might not be that good for you because there'll be spots here that are not quite transfer onto the pot. So how I would do this is, because I still have my underglaze and my color slip, I'm just gonna go in and fill in those spots. Before I fill in those spots, I want to show you that because my transfer is a little bit taller than the vase, so some of these are like outside of the vase. So how I would do that is I can just use a sponge to get rid of those areas. So these are just underglaze and slip, so I can just get over those areas just to clean up the edge a little bit. I want to show you guys the vase after the transfer has dried. I have filled out some of the holes, so you can't really see any of the holes on the slip or on the underglaze. So I think it looks pretty good after filling out the holes. You can still see a little bit of blemishes here. That's okay. It doesn't affect it too much. I think this is a great technique. It's really fun to try if you want to add your own pattern on a vessel. So this needs to be all dried and then put into the bisque firing. And then after bisque firing, you can put a clear gloss glaze on top to make it shiny. So that's it for today's tutorial. Thank you everyone for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.